Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the BRICS Summit they're going to be having here in the next couple of days, maybe a week from now, down in Kazan, Russia. We're going to be talking about the impact of the BRICS Summit on Bitcoin, on the US dollar, and talking about how potentially them releasing a new currency. So I think it's going to be just central bank to central bank currency for now. How releasing that can have a direct impact on the dollar value, short term and long term, and have a direct impact on the Bitcoin price, short term and long term. So if you think that's interesting, you know what to do. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and go to cryptollc.org if you're looking to build yourself a Bitcoin farm, data center for yourself. You want to buy yourself a megawatt from our North Dakota site. We have that available as well. We have that available, and yeah, everything related to Bitcoin, check out our site, cryptollc.org. Before we get started, Bitcoin saves your wealth and Jesus Christ saves your soul. All right, so today's video, we're talking about the BRICS. For those of you guys that don't know, the BRICS is an organization. It's basically a collection of countries that got together and they want to build their own bank, you know, not to go through the IMF. They want to get their own finances. They want to control their own sovereignty. Basically, if you go to the IMF and you say, hey, I want to get a loan, the IMF is going to say, okay, we'll give you a loan. How supportive are you of LGBT, right? And if the answer is no, I'm not, then the IMF is going to say, well, then no loan for you. So that's how it works with the IMF. The BRICS countries are going out there and they're saying, hey, you want to get a loan? So yeah, I want to get a loan. Okay, well, do you qualify? I mean, can you pay this loan? Let's look at your finances, all that stuff. This is in terms of countries, right? And that's it. They don't care what religion you are. They don't care how you think about, like, are you a monarchy? Are you a dictatorship? Are you a democracy? Are you a republic? They don't care. Can you pay back the loan, right? Can you pay back the loan? And what do you get the loan for? Infrastructure. Okay, here it is. Here's $10 billion loan for infrastructure. Go ahead, build what you want to build. So that's BRICS. That's the difference between them. And we're going to be talking about how this BRICS summit coming up in the next couple of days is most likely going to be releasing a BRICS currency. Now, no one knows for sure, but there is that topic right now talking about the BRICS topic. These cars pass by and they get me off of the train of thought here. But basically, how they're thinking about going around sanctions, right? Going around sanctions. And the way to do that is to stop using the US dollar. So in today's video, we're going to be reading from an article. This is from NASDAQ. I'm just reading a quote. And quote here is from NASDAQ: the potential BRICS currency would allow these nations to assert their economic independence while competing with the existing international financial system. The current system is dominated by the US dollar, which accounts for about 90%. 90%. It's huge, right? 90% of all currency trading. Until recently, nearly 100% of oil trading was conducted in US dollars. However, in 2023, 1/3 of oil trades were reportedly made using non-US dollar currencies. So remember, just until recently, all oil was traded in dollars. All of it, 100% of it. Imagine that. Imagine you're a country that generates oil, right? Imagine you're Venezuela or Russia or Kazakhstan. They generate oil as well. Imagine they want to sell the oil only in dollars. Only in dollars. They have to price it in dollars. They sell it in dollars. Once the dollars come in, they're going to hold a little bit for reserves because they need that because they're trading dollar-related commodities. But then they have to translate that dollar, right? Convert it to their currency, right? To their national currency, whatever it is in Kazakhstan, whatever it is in Russia, whatever it is in all those other countries, right? So the US can sanction those. So what happened when the Ukraine war started is Russia was selling their oil in dollars. And then the US said, well, okay, you made all these dollars, but guess what? You can't convert them and you can't transfer them anywhere. You can't buy anything with them because the clearing house is in New York for those dollars. So they're not going to clear. They're not going to post to the bank. Imagine you send money to a bank and the bank says, oh, I never got them. Where's the money? You sent me $2 million, but I never got the $2 million. It's been 5 days now, 6 days, 10 days, 14 days. It's been 2 months. And you're like, well, here it is. I sent you the money, but it just got rejected, sent back, and it never posts. So I can never buy anything if I'm using US dollars. You see the problem there. And that's what happened with the whole Russia selling their oil in dollars. So the BRICS currencies, they want to come out with their own currency, right? It's probably going to be called like BRICS, something similar to that. They're going to come out their own. And the big deal with that is if they do that, the clearinghouse is not in New York. It's not there. It's most likely going to be controlled by all the members of BRICS. So you can't take away, right? You can't steal their money, right? You can't stop them from trading. You can't stop them from doing anything like that. And most likely, it's also going to have commodities. This is my guess here. I'm going to make a guess and see if I'm right or not. I think that it's going to be a basket of currencies, meaning that probably all countries, GDP, PPP, will then have a contributing percentage to the basket. That basket combined will be the BRICS currency. So if China controls, let's say 20% of the GDP of those countries, or 30, 40%, then they would have that amount of the control of the basket. Also, the commodities like gold and silver might be added in, maybe not silver, just like gold will be added in there. Maybe it'll get like 10% of the basket or 5%. And then oil and gas will probably get like 5% each, all added into that basket. And then that basket will then have its own value, fluctuating depending on, you know, trading and all of that. But eventually it'll stabilize, it'll be a nice stable currency. But the main point is that when you're releasing something like that, you're bypassing all sanctions, right? Now Cuba gets some BRICS currency and just buys something from China using the BRICS currency, not using the dollar. So now China can sell them to the Cubans, whatever the Cubans want, and the US can do nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. What are they going to do, right? They can't do anything about it. Same thing with Russia. Same thing with China. Same thing with everyone. I'm going to show you guys these weird little birds here. Look at these guys. Well, the funny thing is that once I started recording those birds, the battery died. So I had to swap out my batteries, and by the time I swapped them out, they flew away. So, whoops, there they go. Anyway, I wanted to get you guys a nice shot of those birds, but they're gone. All right, so back to BRICS. So the main point, right, I want you guys to take away from this video, the main point is if this launches, and if it's successful, which it very likely will be successful, this has a direct impact on the US dollar. Direct impact. The dollar will be used less for everything. I think for the first couple of years, most likely this will be like a central bank to central bank payment system, meaning that it's not going to be for like Joe Blows, you know, like if I lived out there, let's say if I was Chinese or something like that, I live in China, and I wanted to use BRICS currency, I wouldn't be able to. It's only for the central banks. But in the future, I think that eventually, once this rolls out and everyone gets used to it and the central banks get, you know, a good hold on it, I think in the future, it'll start going out to regional banks. It'll start going out to them. So then you can eventually get a card living in those countries that will just be like a BRICS payment card. And it won't be, you know, the Chinese or currency or the Russian currency or the South African currency or the Indian currency, right? It won't be like rupees or the real, Brazilian real. It'll just be the BRICS currency there. So the impact there is directly on the dollar. Dollar will be used less, which means the dollar will start losing its value. And guess what happens to Bitcoin when the dollar loses its value, right? The Bitcoin goes up. So the Bitcoin will immediately start going up, short term and long term. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. You know, when you're in Bitcoin, you gotta be looking at everything there related to Bitcoin. So make sure you guys don't just have your head in the sand and only look at, like, you know, US politics. You got to look at geopolitics. So yeah. All right, well, I think that's it for this video. So make sure you guys are subscribed, hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's see if I'm right. It's going to be a couple of days here. Let's see if that's what's going to happen with BRICS. And also leave comments. Let me know what type of videos you guys want me to make here, talking about, you know, various subjects, you know, related to like geopolitics. Obviously I'll be releasing videos talking about the farm down in Washington. So I'll have some of those coming out here shortly. But in terms of geopolitics, what are you guys more interested in? Do you guys want me to do more like local, political, questions, or local political news or history or something like that. Obviously everything related to Bitcoin. But yeah, hope you guys like this one. Until next time, goodbye.